Hello and welcome to Wandering Nomad. My name is Greg and I'm here to teach you little differences between the bags that is common in any survival situation. People will normally think that in a survival situation that you only need one type of bag, which is known as the bug out bag. However, the bug out bag is not the only type of emergency tool that you can use to prepare yourself for whatever society or whatever nature might throw at you. The survival bags can be broken down into three different types. You got the everyday carry or EDC, you got a day pack, and you also got the bug out bag or an inch bag or any other type of acronym you can find. Each bag should contain the following pieces needed in order to help you survive no matter what it is that is thrown at you. And these are known as the 5 C's. The 5 C's of survival is cordage, cover, cutting tool, container, and combustion. With those 5 things, you can survive just about anything that nature or society will throw at you. Now we're going to introduce the most basic of all of these, which is the everyday carry tool, the everyday carry kit. And this is something that you would want to use as basically what you can keep in your pockets. Everything that is in the everyday carry kit is stuff that you will carry on a daily basis. And they can be any number of things. But as long as they hold those, at least a majority of everything on that list, you will be able to survive. Now every everyday carry kit is different depending on the type of gear you're able to prepare for, as well as what you're legally allowed to carry. But your basic kit should contain the following. Any type of knife. I normally carry at least 1 pocket knife, sometimes 2. You should also have a very good multi-tool, preferably with a pouch with a belt loop. A flashlight is normally good to have, especially if you work at the nights or anything else that might present you with a possibility of having to deal with dark spaces. It's also good to have a form of combustion, which can be matches, flint and steel, or the most common lighter. As part of my everyday carry, I also carry a special watch. This is a Stone Mountain Gauntlet, and it tells both digital and analog time, which is very useful. It also has a built-in thermometer to tell me what the temperature is around me. And the buckle itself has a built-in whistle and a flint and striker setup. The cord is 550 paracord, and inside of it is aluminum foil which wraps around other items inside of it, which is basically fishing line and similar. I also carry my keys on me, and my keys have a Kubotan attached to it. And a Kubotan is a less than lethal self-defense tool. You can use it to break glasses, or if needed, you can use it as a tool, a flail, or a type of jabbing tool. It's considered less than lethal because it will not directly kill a person like a gun. So I normally carry one because around here I don't have my CCW and I cannot carry my gun around me. I also have my phone, which is very useful in case any kind of emergency happens. You also have your wallet, which contains your ID, your way of having money. But inside of my wallet, I also have several different tools. The first tool is the credit card pocket knife, which is good for cutting things, but not necessarily as a self-defense weapon. This is good for maybe making kindling or cutting rope or paracord or whatever you need. I also have this credit card survival tool that I received from Survival Life, and it contains like many different tools, including a saw, some fishing hooks, 2 different types of arrows for if I ever find myself in a situation where I have the ability to make arrows. It's also got a spear point, some snare trap stoppers, which can be useful for making very basic snare traps for trapping. It also has a splinter remover, and an awl. It also has two little sewing needles in case you find yourself with some time to patch up anything that needs to be fixed, like clothing or, you know, sleeping bags or whatever. And I also have this inside. It's another little survival tool. It's got a flathead, a straight edge knife, another saw, a bottle and can opener, a hex headset in multiple different sizes, a ruler that also has a lanyard hole, and right here is used for butterfly nuts that may be stuck. You just place them on and turn it. I have yet to figure out exactly what this is for, but research has suggested that you use this to fill up with water and then place a little piece of needle, and you can use it as a makeshift compass. I have yet to test that theory, but you never know. I also have a homemade everyday carry kit that I carry with me inside my jacket pocket. This is basically a watertight container that latches down nice and tight, and inside it I have emergency blanket, things to make fire with, little fire, like fire tinder and kindling, not kindling, but fire starters. It's also got a small Bear Grylls folder pocket guide inside of it. And it also has a full fishing set at the bottom, as well as some more line and snare wire. And it has a military can opener in case I find myself with cans that I won't be able to just pop the top off. These are items which should be carried around, although they are not 100% necessary depending upon your personal situation. For example, if you are around an area where you're in a very urban survival area, fishing line and fishing hooks and stuff to make arrows with may not be as required as, say, a CCW and a pistol. Contrarily, if you find yourself in the woods a lot more, you may require different items versus what you would find in the city. The next type of bag that you should consider making for yourself is a day pack. A day pack is something you would use if you do a lot of hiking or a lot of camping for weekend getaways. Like if you're just going to be gone Friday through Sunday, this is something you should consider carrying. Now, as part of my day pack, I have a walking stick that I made myself. It's nothing more than just a dowel rod, which I've cut and shaped into what I need it for. I have a little hole here for a lanyard and a handle grip made out of 550 paracord. I have several holes here that I use for various different things, but one of them, which I actually discovered by accident, was being able to attach a type of bandana or some other kind of fibrous material that I can use as a signal to signal if I'm ever lost. I also have here a fishing kit. It comes complete with line and several hooks and baits, and it's all wrapped up with saran wrap in order to make it watertight and kind of protect it from the elements until it needs to be used. Now down here I have some more 550 paracord, but underneath this paracord I have a little groove that I've cut into right here, and inside that groove I super glued sandpaper to use along with the matches, which I wrapped inside a small piece of aluminum foil and placed inside the groove on top of it. The matches are inside the aluminum foil, and the aluminum foil is wrapped around the whole thing, which you can use to make different containers for water or cooking. And I wrap the whole thing with paracord to hold it all together. Inside here this is a Lifeline homemade 3-day survival kit. It comes with fire, a very basic emergency first aid kit, hand warmers, a poncho, and candles, paracord flashlight, a very small multi-tool, and an emergency blanket. It's also got a few things in here that I added myself, mostly extra matches and extra fishing line. And this is something that I have used for if the few times I've gotten lost. It's not designed for anything longer than a week, but if you're able to make it work, go ahead and do it. This is something you would use, that you would want to carry if you ever have to wander away from camp, like on a day hike, and somehow you get lost. The whole thing is held inside of a water bottle, and the water bottle, obviously you use it to carry water, and if you manage to find a fresh source of water and are able to filter and purify it. As also part of my day pack, I have a Camelback backpack. Now, for those who are not familiar with it, it is basically a backpack that's got a separate area in here, which you use, which has a water pouch in it, and this water pouch holds about 2 liters worth of water. It's currently empty because I'm not doing any hiking right now because it's winter time. But I also have my tactical bandana, a tube tent, and emergency rations. The emergency rations will last me approximately 3 days, possibly longer, as long as I can maintain my dietary discipline, or if I'm able to also find food wherever I'm at. In a separate pouch, I carry little items, but currently I have fishing line, which is nothing more than just extra cordage, or you can, not fishing line, floss, dental floss. I can use this for fishing line, or I can use this as extra cordage, or whatever I wouldn't possibly need it for. Inside this pouch is where I keep most of my fire making material, as well as the last few odds and ends. I keep a notepad in this, along with a pen, not just for taking little notes, but also for leaving little notes in case I do get lost or separated from my group. But it's also good to have in case you ever need to make a makeshift map, and in a later video we'll go ahead and show you how to do that. It's also got a small bag which currently holds little pieces of wood for kindle. I also got extra little pieces of cloth. This is actually an old dish rag, and I use that alongside this, which is my firebox, and I use that in order to make char cloth. That's inside my firebox. Not only do I have extra pieces of char cloth, but I also have flint, a very small ferro rod, some dry grass, and a tallow candle. This is for in case I start a fire and for some reason it goes out, I can go ahead and light this and have it ready to restart my fire should something go wrong and it dies out, which will happen from time to time. And there's many different videos on YouTube on how you can use an Altoids tin to make char cloth. So right now I'm not going to demonstrate that. You can find it anywhere. But I always keep a Altoids tin in just about anything I carry for that purpose. Now the last type of bag that you would want to focus on is the level 3 bag, the bug out bag, or the inch bag. This is a bag that's designed to be used if you have to leave your house or wherever you're at, and you plan on being gone for anywhere from a week to a lot longer. Now, just like every other pack you will ever make, it has to be customized for your personal situation. It has to be able to provide you with what you would need at the current time. Like if it's winter, you're going to want something completely different from something that's in the summer or the spring. It also needs to have everything you would need for long-term survival. And this is what I use for my personal bug out bag. This is my get out of Dodge bag, or the bug out bag, or the inch bag, whatever you want to call it. The bag itself is a Alice pack, which I received from my mom as a birthday gift because she knows I'm into survival, and she was nice enough to find this for me and get it for me. She's retired Air Force, and she recommended this for me. It does have some weight to it, and I have trained myself to pick it to be able to carry it, but eventually I hope to be able to get rid of a lot of the things that's in here as my skills grow so that I can carry less and still be able to have the things necessary for me to survive. Now, inside the main compartment of my Alice pack is these items. I have to rotate them depending on the season. So right now, I have a little 2-person backpacking tent. I have a mummy bag, which goes down to -3 degrees. I also have a stainless steel cooking kit. And I also threw in these just for comfort. Sometimes you do need a little bit of comfort, otherwise you really don't have anything to look forward to if you're stuck in a true life or death survival situation. Sometimes you need that comfort. I also carry my main combat knife. I took the handle off just because it was just a little bit too bulky for my liking and replaced it with paracord. And I keep this thing nice and sharp. This is a very dense material. It's made by Shred Extreme Survival. And I have used this thing for years, and it has not once broken on me or anything like that. This is something I would definitely carry because it's very tough, it's very durable. I've used it for batoning. I've used it for cutting and sharpening. It has proven itself in the field for me. I also have a tarp, which I use as a water collection device, but it's also good for an emergency shelter, just in case I get caught in a situation where I don't have the time to put up my tent. I also have a camping saw. And I use this obviously for cutting wood. I don't carry a hatchet on me because I very rarely find myself in a situation where I would need both a hatchet and a saw. And for my personal preference, the saw works better for me. I also have plenty of cordage. This is just some nylon rope and a lot of paracord. And now for the other pockets of my Alice pack, my bug out bag. On top of this flap that covers up the main portion, there is a secondary pocket, which is very flat, and I use this mainly to hold my maps of my area, as well as the United States. It's just a nice little place to store small items such as maps or other small things like personal little effects or pictures or whatever in case you need something. Inside this pocket is just an emergency blanket. Inside this pocket, I keep a very small binocular kit. It's nothing more than just a tiny binocular, which you use for scouting if needed. Inside this pocket is my water purification system. It's nothing more than a Sawyer mini filter. I keep that all in one pocket. That way I constantly know where it's at. I've used this multiple times and it has never once failed me. I keep the whole kit together as a way to know where it's always at. In this pocket, because I'm still not 100% comfortable with identifying medicinal and edible plants, I keep 2 books inside that pocket to help me with that until I can get a few plants down as a good source of food to memory. And finally, in this pocket is my medical pocket. It's got a first aid kit, as well as gloves and antiseptics, which I would use for injuries for myself or if I run into other people. I also carry a cool patch, which you just simply get wet and wrap it around. You use this to fight off heat stroke and other things that would require you to cool off. Each of these bags, which you have just seen, is used for different levels of emergencies. The everyday carry kit is good to have around no matter where you're at. You can be at work or school, or you can just be walking down the street, and it's always good to have that with you at all times. And because it's small and convenient in your pockets, it's always good to keep that close by. The day pack is obviously for hiking and very minor weekend camping. And obviously the bug out bag is used for true emergencies where you have to get out of your immediate area. That being said, you can combine the everyday carry kit with your bug out kit or your day pack depending on the situation, which will allow you to be able to carry less items. For example, you can have matches in the day pack as well as have your everyday carry kit, which can include a lighter. Now you don't necessarily have to carry both, but this is just the more you have to be able to provide the very basics that you would need, the better it is. But the best tool you can ever have, though, is skills and knowledge. If you're able to learn how to do certain things, like to be able to make fire out in the woods or build shelter out of leaves and twigs and be able to purify water without a water filter, those skills can help negate the need for certain items. This has been a long journey for me, and I don't claim to be an expert in all this. I'm still learning, just like you guys, who if you're watching this, you're probably still learning different things too. That being said, never stop learning. You will never be an expert in everything, so it's always good to kind of keep an eye out for new skills that you can learn. And I want to thank you for watching this video, and stay safe.